Well, it looks like our daughter-in-law, who isn't very bright, is going to sing for us. Come on, awkward girl, get on stage, my mother-in-law said in a mean voice. It was my sister-in-law's wedding party, and everyone had to sing a solo. I didn't want to, but my mother-in-law always took the chance to put me down. I couldn't believe she was making me feel bad at such a happy event. Why are you taking so long? Hurry up, she said, sounding annoyed. Okay, I'm going, I said, getting up slowly and walking to the stage. I'm Rachel, 34 years old, married to Jake, who is also 34. We have a 5-year-old son, Ben, and we've been married for 9 years. I grew up with my aunt and uncle after my parents passed away, and I left high school to work at a restaurant. Jake and I reconnected at a high school reunion when we were 22, and we started dating. After he finished college, we got married. Since then, I've been taking care of our home, raising Ben, and working part-time. Lately, Ben has been asking me to teach him how to sing. I didn't want to push him into music, but I love singing. I was in the school choir in high school and still take voice lessons for fun. I hope one day we can sing together with Jake's guitar. 3 days later, my mother-in-law called again to criticize me. Since she found out I didn't finish high school, she often made fun of me for my past and skills. She wasn't my favorite person. Is Ben home? She asked. He's at his voice lesson right now, I answered, realizing I had said too much, but it was too late. Why didn't you tell me before? You never think things through. I'll teach him, my mother-in-law said. Even though she was very skilled at music, she always acted like she knew better than everyone, especially about music and learning. She was nice to Ben, but her strict way of teaching might scare him off, like it did with Jake and his brother. Thanks, but I want Ben to decide if he wants to keep going. It's not my place to stop him, I said. I'm sure I can teach him better, she said before hanging up. 3 months later, I almost forgot about the whole thing until my mother-in-law came over. It's been a while. How's Ben doing? She asked, clearly excited to see her grandson. As soon as she walked in, she grabbed Ben and didn't even say hi to us. Ben didn't have his voice lesson that day, so the whole family was home. Grandma, I'm getting better at singing. Ben said proudly. Really? Sing for me, my mother-in-law asked. I was worried about what she might say, so I suggested, why don't we eat first? It's lunchtime. Don't interrupt when she's about to sing for me, my mother-in-law snapped. I'm sorry. Ben, please sing for her, I said. Ben sang, and I worried my mother-in-law would make fun of him. But instead, she praised him, saying, you did great. You've practiced a lot. I was relieved that she didn't say anything rude, and Ben was happy to be praised. I thought Mom might say something. I was worried, Jake whispered to me, looking relieved. Later that evening, I noticed that Ben had fallen asleep. Excuse me, mother-in-law. Since Ben is asleep, I'm going to put him to bed, I said, picking him up and taking him to his room. After I put Ben in bed, I went back to the living room. My mother-in-law then said, don't you think Ben's singing was awful? It's a waste of money to send him to lessons if he sings like that. I'll teach him myself. This isn't what we agreed on. Can you be a bit nicer? I said. What are you talking about? I am being nice. You should focus on housework, something you're good at, my mother-in-law replied harshly. 4 hours went by, and finally, her lesson finished. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to practice what we worked on today, she said with a proud smile, leaving. If I'm going to be yelled at like this, I don't want to sing anymore, Ben said, sitting in his chair. I felt so angry at my mother-in-law. She was taking away something Ben loved just to make herself feel better. I couldn't let this go on. Ben's lessons with my mother-in-law continued for a few days. After about a week, Ben told me, I don't want Grandma to teach me anymore. I don't want to sing. I understood why, with my mother-in-law's strict way of teaching. You don't have to keep going if you don't want to. Do you still want to go back to your voice lessons? I asked him. Ben didn't seem to dislike singing, just the way Grandma was treating him. He thought for a moment. Maybe I'll go back to my lessons, Ben said, sounding a bit more cheerful. The next day, I called my mother-in-law and told her what Ben decided. How can she give up after just a week? It's your fault for raising such a weak child, my mother-in-law yelled. I replied, maybe it is. But even though you went to a top music school, it seems your teaching style isn't working. Ben told me he prefers his other teacher. She kept complaining, but I hung up. It felt good to know that Ben liked his other teacher more than my mother-in-law's way. After that, she stopped visiting. I talked to your mom. Ben doesn't want her teaching anymore, so she won't be coming, I told Jake that night. Jake looked sorry and apologized. I was so mad when you said Ben should quit and let my mom teach. I almost wanted to punch you. But I'm glad Ben still loves music, so I'll forgive you. 2 weeks later, Jake said, my sister's getting married next month, and she wants us to perform. I've never performed at someone else's wedding. What does she want us to do? I was planning a small concert with my band, but my sister wants you and my mom to sing too, he explained. I didn't want to, but I agreed when I realized my mother-in-law would be performing too. So, I'll be singing with your mom? I asked. Yeah, looks like it. I wondered if it would be okay to sing with her. But if I sang better than her, what would she say? I started practicing right away, but there was no sign that my mother-in-law was preparing. Mom, aren't you going to practice? I asked. I'm fine. I'm already better than you, even without practicing. People like you need to practice, she mocked me. I ignored her and focused on my own practice. I also increased my voice lessons. I was tired of her making fun of me, and I was nervous about performing in front of people after not practicing for so long. On the wedding day, everything went smoothly, and the entertainment began. First, Jake took the stage and performed. As expected, he was confident and looked amazing. I was mesmerized by his performance. I'm not feeling well today. Can you sing on your own? My mother-in-law suddenly asked. What? That's too sudden. It's not fair. I said. Well, what can we do? Are you too embarrassed to sing because you're uneducated and ugly? She replied, without any regret. Okay, I see what's going on, I thought, and decided to answer back. Uneducated and ugly? I practiced hard, so I'm not embarrassed to sing. I asked you many times if you needed to practice, but you never did. Could it be that you're actually a terrible singer? That's not true, she shouted back. People around us started to notice the argument. Sorry, it's nothing, I said, standing up and apologizing to everyone. Then, I whispered to my mother-in-law, you graduated top of your class from a music school, but you act like you know everything. Are you afraid to sing with me because I might be better? What did you say? That's not true. If I sang with someone as uneducated and ugly as you, it would ruin my performance. Your parents didn't teach you anything, she yelled, insulting me and my parents in front of everyone. I was embarrassed and furious. I wanted to leave right then, but if I did, she would be happy. What are you doing? Hurry up, she snapped. Okay, I'll go, I said, as Jake's performance ended. I took the stage, stepping in for my mother-in-law. She had said she wasn't feeling well, so I would sing solo. I picked an opera song from The Marriage of Figaro, a piece I used to perform in competitions. As I sang, all my practice paid off. My voice sounded amazing, with the best vibrato I'd ever achieved. The audience was amazed, whispering, her voice is incredible, and is she a professional? When I finished, everyone gave me a standing ovation. I returned to my seat, smiling. Congratulations on your wedding, sister-in-law. I was the choir leader in high school, but it's been years since I performed. How did I do? Thanks for listening, I said. Ben, starry-eyed, said, Mom, your voice was so beautiful. Can you teach me next time? My mother-in-law, clearly jealous, scoffed. Anyone can sing like that. Don't get too proud of yourself. Just as I thought the entertainment was over, my sister-in-law said, Grandma, you should sing too. I was shocked. My mother-in-law looked at her daughter, confused. I've never heard you sing, Mom, since you taught me so much about music. I'd love to hear you sing, my sister-in-law said. The crowd eagerly agreed, excited to hear her sing. Word had spread about her music school background, and they were expecting a great performance. Well, looks like you have to sing now, I said, smiling. She reluctantly agreed and took the stage, but when she started singing, whispers filled the room. I might be a better singer, I thought. Her voice was shaky, and the pitch was off. The same person who criticized everyone else couldn't keep up. The room fell silent, unlike when I sang, and the applause was weak. After her performance, she returned, red-faced and furious. That's why I didn't want to sing. If you had sung well, my daughter wouldn't have asked me to perform. Her anger confused me. It seemed like she really wanted to hear you sing, I said. No way, she knew I was bad at singing and did this to embarrass me, she snapped. I couldn't believe it. My mother-in-law, who always criticized others, couldn't take any criticism herself. Isn't it great, mother-in-law? You didn't have to sing with a terrible singer like me, I said, sarcastically. How dare you say that? It's your fault I had to embarrass myself. It's not nice to say things like that in front of your daughter. She must be proud to hear her mother sing, I said, brushing her off. The night went on without more problems. 2 days later, my mother-in-law showed up at our house, furious. I won't let it go. You need to apologize for what happened, she demanded. I was surprised. What do I need to apologize for? I didn't realize your singing was that bad. I think you owe us an apology. I don't have anything to apologize for. It's your fault I had to sing and embarrass myself, she yelled. No, you owe Ben an apology. You almost made him hate music. Why would you torment a child who loves music just because things didn't go your way? You should be ashamed. I've never had training from you, yet I sang at the wedding and got applause. Want me to teach you how to sing? My mother-in-law was silent. If there's nothing else, please leave. I won't let anyone interfere in my family's music anymore. Defeated, my mother-in-law left without saying another word. I felt like justice had been done. Since then, things have calmed down. She even visits without criticizing Ben's singing. Recently, Ben has been working hard on a difficult song for his voice class, and I'm so proud of him. One day, I heard my mother-in-law, watching Ben practice, say, Ben, listen closely, try it this way. Her tone was patient, much different from her old harshness. Thank you, Grandma. It's easier to sing now, Ben said, happy. My mother-in-law turned to me. Rachel, I've learned to enjoy music again. Can you teach me to sing next time? Sure, but my lessons are tough, I teased. She smiled. I'm ready. Since then, we've had fun going to karaoke together. I hope one day, Ben, Jake, my mother-in-law, and I can have a family jam session.